With the 8th pick in the 2018 NBA Draft, the Cleveland Cavaliers select Collin Sexton from the University of Alabama.
Avery Johnson all smiles as his star guard goes to the Cleveland Cavaliers. Collin Sexton had one sensational season at Alabama. Helped the Crimson Tide win his first NCAA tournament game since 2006. He is extraordinarily tough and competitive. And he's the guy who raised the energy every time he stepped on the floor, and now will have to take that type of energy to the Cavaliers.
Well, Collin Sexton, Reese, is an aggressive, ball-dominant point guard, and you called it. He's a fierce competitor. I think he may be the most competitive player in this entire draft. He is quick. He is explosive. He is incredibly fast in the open court. When he gets downhill in transition, he is just an absolute blur. His jump shot is not quite there yet, but he's got a good middle game, and his jump shot is really improving. And he shoots 78% from the free throw line, which is a pretty good indicator that he's got the ability to get much better as a shooter. Changes speeds very well. He's got an excellent burst with the basketball, and he's very good with the basketball in his hands. A good defender. He's active for steals. He has good anticipation. Then you can see just in that highlight his open court ability. And if a 3-on-5 game breaks out, I'm taking Collin Sexton. In this building, he went 3-on-5 against Minnesota, scored 40, and almost won the game just about single-handedly. Talked about his transition ability. He's a worker. He competes, he attacks, and he's a fighter. That may be his best attribute. He will fight you start to finish.
I'll tell you a guy I had the pleasure of playing with when I was with the Clippers that he reminds me of, and that's Eric Bledsoe. Very athletic, very, very good defender. You can't keep him out of the paint. He's worked on his jump shot. He can make it from mid-range, even threes now. And I see a lot of Eric Bledsoe in Collin Sexton.
And Collin Sexton going to the Cavaliers. It's now time for Looking Ahead. Brought to you by Wells Fargo. As you see Avery hugging Collin's mother, Maria is now with the young bull, Collin Sexton.
Well, Reese, he doesn't have to change the color of his jacket because he already has the matching Cleveland colors. And 2 years ago, you were an unranked high school player. Now you're a lottery pick. What does that mean?
It just shows all my hard work paid off. I just grinded from starting at the bottom and came back up to the top. That was the biggest thing, just to show people what I can do.
Make your pitch to LeBron James to stay in Cleveland with you.
Man, LeBron, let's do it. Let's do it. I see you need a few pieces, that one extra piece this past season. Hey, let's do it. Let's go back to the finals. Let's do it.
All right, LeBron, the young bull has called you out. He wants you to stay with them in Cleveland. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Good for them. That's
supposedly who LeBron likes. Supposedly one of the names
that game's been played before.
I was going to say in Miami. That didn't go so well in Miami the year he left.
Baz Napier's watching somewhere.
Right, exactly.
Here's what you get with Collin Sexton. You got a very athletic young guard. He's got an incredible motor, a chip on his shoulder. He was not heavily recruited.
Right.
He didn't burst out on the scene until the summer before his senior year. And he did average 20 points a game. He went over 43 times. And in some ways, a league that no longer has the pure point guard, he is the modern day lead guard. He's a scoring guard with amazing athleticism. Now, he can't go right, by the way, but the Cavalier player development guys will work on that. But it is a high motor type of kid. And, you know, the best player on the board to me right now because of the Michael Porter situation.
Interesting.
And you mentioned Kemba and moving back and getting, I guess Charlotte would get the 8th pick or something. This is the difficulty that they're in. Like, I love Kemba Walker. Kemba Walker's an all-star. He's a wonderful player. I just don't think he moves the needle in terms of LeBron looking at the Cavs. Oh, now I'm going to stay there. I think you need to get into a different echelon of player, and clearly it doesn't appear that they were able to get there. And that
is clearly what they decided here, was that they were not going to worry about LeBron, and they were going to draft the guy that they needed. And that's what they did.
They can't.
And look, Dan Gilbert sort of telegraphed this, that he really liked this player, that he was watching him all year long. And although Dan Gilbert always loves Michigan State players, so I'm sure.
Oh, really?
I'm sure
Seriously.
that was also considered there. But I think Sexton is a guy who the Cavs honestly believe can contribute to them next year. They will sell that to LeBron.
He's a really exciting player, too.
And he will be a guy.
Yes,
A little reckless, though, right?
He's
a little reckless.
Let me just tell you, if there's ever a 5-on-3 game, he's good because he was on.
Is he on the 5?
I'd be good at 5
He was on the 3. He got 40.
Oh, I see.
Alabama was down to 3 guys back in November.
Incredible.
And he had 40 against 5 Minnesota guys. So
Shoot right off the dribble. He can shoot off the dribble. He's got a lot to. He's an
it's a good, solid pick because he's a high energy. He's got a great motor, and he's an athlete, and he can score.
Right. And this pick was always about preparing for a post-LeBron world. That's why Kobe Altman wanted. That's why Dan Gilbert wanted. That's why that was their number one target in the Kyrie Irving trade. Was we got to get this pick from Boston. It was always about, if just in case, we got to have a foundation here, and it's something we can trade, and it's something we can trade in the event that.
Can we also just pour one out for the Nets Celtics trade?
It's done.
That's it.
It's over. It's over.
The Nets are out of jail.
When Cleveland traded for that pick, they probably expected it would be higher than 8. Would you guys agree with that?
Absolutely.
It should really be next year when the Nets make their own pick.
Their own pick. We should have like a little party
There
for
needs to
them.
be
What should
balloons.
happen?
Balloons need to come down
Right?
from the set.
The ceiling.
Hey,
we'll have
give
the whole
The Brooklyn Knight. We got to get the Brooklyn Knight mascot back to
Tell you
drop
what,
down
man,
from the ceiling.
give Sean Marks some serious props for what he's done there. With no draft picks and
Absolutely
he's
fleeced
really,
the Hornets yesterday.
Yeah.
Well, so that's
or
interesting.
this morning, whenever that was.
I was going to say.
I don't even know when that
was yesterday.
That was yesterday? Okay.
Yes.